Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 1. Canto 4. Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 53. We have been hearing the descendants of the 9 daughters of Kardama Mani. And then we started with the other daughter who got married to Daksh, Prasuti. Yayor Janmani Ado Vishwam Abhya Nandat Sunirvritam Manamsi Kakubo Vata Prasedu Saritu Adrayaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. On the occasion of the appearance of Narayan, the entire world was full of joy. Everyone's mind became tranquil, and thus in all directions the air, the rivers, and the mountains became pleasant. Narayan Rishis, they are the incarnation of the Supreme Lord and Arjuna, they say that, Nar and Narayan. So whenever the Supreme Lord incarnates, the entire world becomes peaceful, happy, joyful. So there's abundance. There's abundance in the world at that time. There's no scarcity. So if anyone claims that they are the incarnation of the Lord in this age of Kali, we can ask them, then how come there's so much injustice happening? There's so much animal slaughter, so much, there's a war going on. When the Lord comes, everything is very peaceful and abundant. So we can't take incarnations of the Lord cheaply. There are particular signs to be noticed. They have to be mentioned in the Shastras and reconfirmed by the pure devotees. Divya avadayanta turyani petu kushuma vritsayaha munayas tushtu vustushta jagur gandharva kin naraha nrityanti sma striyo devya asit parama mangalam deva brahmadaya sarve upathasthur abhishtave. In the heavenly planets, bands began to play and they showered flowers from the sky. The pacified sages chanted Vedic prayers. The denizens of heaven, known as the Gandharvas and Kinnaras, sang. The beautiful damsels of the heavenly planets danced, and in this way, at the time of the appearance of Narayan, all signs of good fortune were visible. Just at that time, great demigods like Brahma also offered their respectful prayers. So whenever incarnation of Lord appears, everyone is happy. Not only the earth becomes abundant, but the demigods are happy because they can see the Lord. It's not easy to see the Lord. The demigods are not able to see him. If there's any problem, the demigods go to Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma will go with the demigods to the Shvetadvip, the ocean of milk. And over there, they will offer prayers to the Lord. And sometimes Brahma can see the Lord, but not all the time. He can see Shirodaksha Vishnu, not all the time. So when the Lord appears as an incarnation, they're happy because they can see him. Otherwise, they're not able to. Here we are seeing that the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, the Kinnaras, all these are heavenly beings living on higher planets. They are also joyful. And this is when the time of the appearance of Narayan Rishis. So we can see, because some people will say, oh, yes, I'm incarnation of the Lord. Yeah, but did the demigods come and chant their prayers? Did the demigods come and sing for them? All these things are to be considered. Even when Lord Caitanya appeared 500 years ago, the demigods were coming to see him, to sing their prayers for him. When Lord Lord Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, the demigods would come and offer prayers. So this is one of the proof. Reading on. Deva Ucha Yo Mayaya Virachitam Nijayat Manidam Ke Rupa Bhedam Ivatat Pratichakshanaya Etena Dharma Sadane Rishi Murti Nadya Pradushchakara Purushaya Nama Parasmai. The demigod said, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the transcendental personality of Godhead, who created as his external energy this cosmic manifestation, which is situated in him as the air and clouds are situated in space, and who has now appeared in the form of Narnarayan Rishi in the house of Dharma. So he appeared to Dharma. Dharma is the father. And so the demigods are clearly saying that you are the Supreme Lord, transcendental personality of Godhead. And then this entire material world, as we are able to see, we barely can see anything. We look up in the sky, we can see a few planets, but the entire material world is much greater. There are so many universes. And who has created it? The demigods are saying, God, my dear God, you have created it. You have created all this by your external energy. Krishna creates the material world by his external energy. The universal form of the Lord is a cosmic manifestation, which is an exhibition of the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In space, there are innumerable varieties of planets and also the air. And in the air, there are variously colored clouds. And sometimes we see airplanes running from one place to another. Thus, the entire cosmic manifestation is full of variety. But actually, that variety is a manifestation of the external energy of the Supreme Lord. And that energy is situated in him. So we are able to see the world. We are able to see there's so much variety, different types of trees, plants, birds, animals, the clouds, the air, earth, water, fire. So who is the creator? The intelligent question to ask is, who created this? In our experience, we know that nothing just is created by itself. It's not that when we sleep at night and when we wake up, oh, the whole city of Taipei is made with its roads, the MRT and the stores and the shopping, and everything is organized in a nice way. No, somebody has done the work. So similarly, this entire material world, who has created it? It's the Supreme Lord. It's God who has created it. It's Krishna who has created it. And this world, as we see, the planets, they are situated, some are the lower planets, some are the middle, some are the higher planets. This is the material world. When we see it, it's the universal form of the Lord. Because many people cannot understand that God exists. So then God takes up this universal form, where the lower planets are his feet, the middle planets are his waist, the upper planets are on his head and chest, the clouds that we see are his hair on the head, the various plants that we see are the hair on his body, the plants and the trees are his body, the ocean is his abdomen, then the mountains are his bones. So like that, when we see the wonders of nature, we can try to understand the universal form of God. So it's not that because this God has created this material world, that he has become the material world, and that he does not have a spiritual form. Krishna always has his spiritual form. His spiritual form is eternal. God, eternal, has his spiritual form, but he also has this external energy by which he creates this material world. That's why we call God omnipotent. He has many, many different types of potencies: material potency, spiritual potency, and we, the Jivatmas, are the marginal potency. We are also potency of Krishna. Now, the Lord himself, after manifesting his energy, appeared within the creation of his energy, which is simultaneously one with and different from himself. And therefore, I'm sorry, the demigods offered their respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who manifests himself in such varieties. So God creates this material world and he enters into it. He has taken an incarnation now. He's come as Nar-Narayan Rishi. Sometimes he comes as Lord Rama. Sometimes he comes as Lord Nishingadev. So he has his spiritual form. It's not that because he creates the material world that God does not have his spiritual form anymore. And sometimes he comes as himself, Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are some philosophers called non-dualists who, because of their impersonal conception, think that varieties are false. So when we see variety here in the material world, it's not that it's false. When we stand near a mirror, we can see our reflection. So we say, oh, the reflection is false, the reflection is false. But the intelligence to understand is it's a reflection. So where is the original? So I am standing here in front of the mirror. That's the reason I have a reflection in the mirror. Yes. If someone is standing in front of the mirror, then only there can be a reflection. Otherwise, there won't be a reflection. This is how we see variety in the material world. They are not false. The varieties are merely perverted reflections of the original reality in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is full of variety, full of form. We say, oh, form means material. No, the original form is spiritual. The material form is simply a reflection of the material form. Because the soul is eternal and the soul has a form. God has a form. God is eternal. Spirit has a form. It doesn't mean that if something is spiritual, it's like vague, some light, some energy. No, it's a form. So in this verse, it is specifically stated, Yoma Yayam Virachitam. This indicates that the varieties are a manifestation of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, because the energy is non-different from the Godhead, the varieties are also factual. So Krishna's energy is a part of him. It's like sun and sunshine. Prabhupada would always give us this analogy. Can there be sun without sunshine? Or can there be sunshine without sun? No. So the sunshine is the energy of the sun, but they're simultaneously one and different. Sunshine is the energy of the sun. They coexist. Similarly, God and his energies are always existing. God is eternal, so his energies are also eternal, always existing. There is variety in the spiritual world. There are trees, there is water, there is fruits, there's flowers, there are forms of animals, there is peacocks, cows, deer, the gopis, the gopas, the Vishnu-like forms, and God himself. There are, in the Vaikuntha planets, there are so many. There are male forms, there are female forms. Those are the real eternal forms. In the material world, the form is a perverted reflection of the real form. So just by saying that form is material is an incorrect conclusion. They are a reflection of the spiritual varieties. It's just that in the material world, the forms are made of matter. But in the spiritual world, the forms are Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, eternal, Chit, full of knowledge, and Ananda, full of bliss. Everything is conscious in the spiritual world. There's no dead matter there. There is nothing unconscious there. Here in the material world, matter is dead. Matter is unconscious. So when we see a stone, we say, oh, it's like dead matter, no? It doesn't have consciousness. But in the spiritual world, stone also has consciousness. Why? Because it's not made up of just earth, but it's made of Sat, Chit, Ananda, conscious. Here the word Pratichakshanaya, their varieties, announces the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared as Nar Narayan Rishi, and who is the origin of all varieties of material nature. So God is He is the creator. He's the one who creates the entire material world, all the varieties in the material world. We simply are finding it here. We wake up in this body and we see all this wonderful material manifestation in front of us. And we forget to ask who made it. We simply want to enjoy it, but we don't ask who made it, who's the creator. God is the creator. Is that all right?
Yes. Yes.
So then, reading on. Soyam sthiti vyatikaro pashamaya srishtan satvena nasuraganan anumeya tattvaha drishyad abra karunena vilokanena yakshri niketam amalam shipataravindam. Let that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is understood by truly authorized Vedic literature, and who has created peace and prosperity to destroy all calamities of the created world, be kind enough to bestow his glance upon the demigods. His merciful glance can supersede the beauty of the spotless lotus flower, which is the home of the goddess of fortune. So when the Lord, he's very, very beautiful. The Lord's form is full of beauty, very beautiful. And his glance is also very beautiful when he looks at us. So the demigods are praying. They are praying for his merciful glance. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the origin of the cosmic manifestation, is covered by the wonderful activities of material nature, just as outer space or the illumination of the sun and moon is sometimes covered by clouds or dust. So we see some days are very cloudy, that we can't see the sun. We can only see the clouds. Does it mean the sun does not exist? No, the sun exists. It's just that the clouds have covered our vision of the sun. Does it mean that the cloud has covered the sun? No, it simply means the cloud has covered our vision of the sun. The sun is far, far greater than the clouds. The sun is huge. The clouds can't cover the sun. Similarly, Maya, this material energy, what does she do? This cosmic manifestation, she can't cover Krishna. She simply covers our vision of Krishna. That's all. And that's her function. Why? Because we want to forget him. We want to pretend God does not exist. So God is like, okay, whatever you wish, my dear child, you wish to believe that I don't exist? Okay, I will put you in this Maya, and you will believe that I don't exist. It is very difficult to find the origin of the cosmic manifestation. Therefore, material scientists conclude that nature is the ultimate cause of all manifestations. So, some people say, yeah, that life comes from matter, that this material world is the cause of we living entities being here. This material nature is the cause of everything. But it's completely illogical. Why? Because if the material nature was the cause, why don't we see new things being created? Why can't we just see spaghetti coming out of the air suddenly? Why can't we see just buildings coming up by itself in thin air or whatever, just being created by itself? If we say that nature is the creator, we don't. So it's completely illogical to say that nature is the creator. No, it's God who is the creator. Even if we keep all the bricks and the sand and the glass and all the materials together in one place, which is needed for a skyscraper, they are not gonna combine by themselves to come together and become a skyscraper. No, somebody has to do it. So this entire world is created by God. It's not it happened by chance. It's not that, oh, there was a big bang and everything became so nice and organized and beautiful. But from Shastra or authentic literatures like Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic scriptures, we can understand that behind this wonderful cosmic manifestation is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in order to maintain the regular procedures of the cosmic manifestation and to be visible to the eyes of persons who are in the mode of goodness, the Lord appears. So all the scriptures say the Creator is God. Everywhere. No scripture ever says that the material nature, the material energy, she is the creator, that she is God. No. All scriptures say Krishna is God. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Ete cham sakalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. He is the cause of the creation and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. The demigods therefore prayed for his merciful glance upon them in order to be blessed. So the demigods are here asking the Lord for his mercy. They're saying, please look at us and give us your blessings. The Lord is supremely merciful. He's supremely compassionate, supremely merciful. It's out of his mercy that he keeps coming time and time again to the material world so that we can hear his pastimes, we can know about him. He gives us a small preview of what's happening in the spiritual world. Like before we see a movie or something, we see a preview. So he comes here to show us a preview and to attract our hearts, to tell us that this material world is not your true home. Come back home to the spiritual world, back home, back to Godhead. So sometimes he comes himself, sometimes he comes, uh, sometimes he sends his incarnations, and sometimes he sends his pure, confidential devotees to give us this message. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's okay.
So we'll stop here then for today. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.